Maybe you could briefly go over your jump to WCW.
Yeah, when I went to WCW, you know, I wasn't I wasn't leaving the WWF because I was unsatisfied or mad about anything. This was more about what was going on personally in my life. My wife and I had nearly uh, broken up. I came close to being divorced, and that largely due to my own stupidity. And uh, and when I had gone back, when I stopped physically wrestling and I went back, I was a manager, and so managers weren't required to go on the road. They were just at TV. They did the TV shows and they did the talking for whoever they represented. And so they didn't have to go on the road. Well, then Vince decided he was going to put me on the road again, like with Sid and whatever. He kind of like he had said, I want you to help keep this guy's oars in the water. And hindsight being 2020, I probably should have gone to Vince and had a conversation with him and explain how I felt about it. But I didn't do that. And later I did. And later, later meaning, after I went back the next time and I had that conversation with him, he told me, he said, you should have come and talked to me. And at the time, I didn't, I thought, this is Vince McMahon. He's a businessman. He's not interested in my personal issues. He's going to do with me what he thinks is best for the company and the organization. And so that's the way I looked at it. So the reason I actually jumped to WCW was, they said that I could come there and do what I had been doing at the WWF, be a mouthpiece, for the wrestlers that I represented, be at the TVs, but I didn't have to go and do any of the house shows. And that's why I made the jump. So, I really, it was, they called them the wrestling wars. And personally, WCW lost. A lot of guys went over there, Hogan, Hall, Nash, a lot of guys jumped and went over there. And for that short little run there, they were doing it because then the biggest angle in wrestling was the war between the two organizations. But and again, Eric Bischoff, I have nothing against Eric. It's just that Eric was given a job that he really wasn't. He wasn't the mind of Vince McMahon, and I knew that whatever it wasn't going to last very long. That ultimately the WWF would win that war, and they did.